It's your boy Town. So, I needed to do a stream because I wasn't even gonna speak on this, but then sometimes it get nerve wracking when I hear content creators or just people putting out BS stories, and I have to counteract, the fraudulent and misinformation that's being put out. At the end of the day, people are just doing what they like doing, basically picking a side and demonizing another fighter, and particularly a black fighter, because they may be cool with somebody that's cool with them. I told you guys I wasn't gonna do this and I wasn't gonna participate in it, and I meant every damn word. Give me a second. So now the latest thing is to play Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney up against each other. Now I talked to Bill Haney like about 4 or 5 hours ago. None of this was confirmed about Bill. I specifically asked him about it. Bill basically didn't say yay or nay. And I need to explain something to you. So Shakur Stevenson allegedly turned down $8 million to face Devin Haney as part of 25%. Allegedly. And I'm gonna tell you allegedly, and I'm gonna explain this to y'all, and I hope y'all have a clear understanding of what's going on. Like I said before, I understand some people have what they call their style or their flavor and how they attract people and get people to watch their videos. And then I just see a lot of these dudes out here are just toxic, and they about chaos and they about division. And I told you I wasn't gonna go that route. I'm not doing that. And I told you to count me out. Now listen, as far as Shakur Stevenson recording and leaking phone calls, that's not a good look. It's not a good look. And you shouldn't be recording phone calls, and you shouldn't have people recording phone calls to later save it and then try to leak it. That's not a good look, and that's untrustworthy. Now, um, I heard the footage from an interview where somebody allegedly tied to Shakur Stevenson said that they turned down $8 million because they could possibly get 16 next year to fight um, Devin Haney. First of all, nobody ever said that a fight was going to take place this year. There was never a definitive date. Nobody said they could fight this year. That was never determined. We all knew for months now that Devin Haney was going to move up to 140 and fight Shakur Stevenson. I mean, excuse me, and fight Regis Prograis. So when did it ever get set in stone that they had a date? They said in the future. We all knew that they was going to fight in the future. All this stuff about sign the contract. How many times have we heard this BS dating back to Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather? This sign the contract BS. At the end of the day, we ain't saw no contract, and it's just hearsay. Okay, first of all, let me ask y'all something. Who go? Okay, so basically, Shakur Stevenson turned down so-called $8 million, right? And that's 25%. Basically, you saying of a $32 million purse. So you saying Shakur Stevenson turned down $8 million, and Devin Haney was going to get $24 million. Okay, so who's gonna put up the money for this? So you mean to tell me that Matchroom or ESPN or Top Rank or the Zone was going to put up this kind of money? At the end of the day, when people put up that type of money, and obviously this would have had to been a pay-per-view fight, and they would have had to sell the pay-per-view at around, Devin Haney sold his last pay-per-view for what, around what, $50, 40, $50. You would have had to sell this pay-per-view at around $80. Then, not to mention, you would have had to charge sky high prices for tickets just so people could make money. And Devin Haney's last pay per view did anywhere between, from whatever you believe, between 150 $50,000 to possibly 300,000. So once again, you have to think logical. Like I said, a lot of these dudes, they just be making up stuff. But see, I'm giving you facts. So who was going to foot the bill for this? For people to put up that kind of money, they have to, for people to put up, well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So while people sitting up here putting out videos about Shakur Stevenson turning down $8 million, this supposed to came from somebody tied to Shakur Stevenson, and that they basically said they can get 16 million next year. I'm not pocket watching, but I can tell you right now, that type of money ain't out there for that type of fight. And I'm just keeping it 100. This ain't tanking Ryan Garcia. And I'm not putting nobody down. I'm not hating on nobody, but I'm just telling y'all the truth. That type of money for a fight like that is not out there. At best, you might could see maybe a purse of maybe $12 million, but you talking about at best. I'm telling you right now, I think if Shakur Stevenson was offered $8 million, he would take that fight. But like I said before, people like putting this kind of stuff out there. They like going on social media and talking to these people. And at the end of the day, they dilute the product of boxing and they doing themselves a disservice. And then a lot of these media dudes are doing themselves a disservice because they come across as not being credible. See, I know how this works. So once again, don't you remember a few years ago where I basically had to expose that BS that Carissa Shields was talking about, that, you know, her and Layla Ali could make together like around $10 million if they was to fight. And I was like, okay, well, who gonna put the money up for that? They have to get a return. Where are you gonna put this fight at? And she kept saying that the money's there. Well, how come nobody didn't put up the money for that fight? So once again, I haven't heard Saudi Arabia say that they're willing to put up that kind of money for a fight like that. And I'm just telling the truth, and I'm not putting nobody down. I'll talk to Bill Haney earlier. You haven't heard Jay Prince confirm this. You haven't heard Shakur Stevenson confirm this. I doubt highly that Shakur Stevenson would turn down $8 million. If that's 25% of a $32 million purse. So once again, who's putting up the money? See, a lot of these dudes like to get on here and talk and act like they know what they talking about. But at the same time, it was just about a slander job that people wanted to do towards Shakur Stevenson. But then once again, these niggas claim to be pro-black and they supposed to be for black athletes. And I told people, and I'm going to say this again, I stand on an island of my own. I don't roll like that. So once again, somebody tell me where the money gonna come from and who gonna put up the money for this. So was ESPN willing to put up $32 million for this fight? Did you hear about a purse bid? I haven't heard ESPN say that they was willing to put up the money. I haven't heard Matchroom say they was willing to put up the money. Now, I promise you, if you ask Bob Arum, he'll probably look at you like you was crazy. If you asked Eddie Hearn, he'll probably look at you like he was crazy. Because see, like I said, that's the difference between me and these other dudes on here. I'm not going to sit up here and fool the people that watch me. I'm going to show some journalistic integrity. Like I said, it sounds good the way people, you know, the way people title their videos. That's cool. But I'm giving y'all the real. For them to make that kind of money, they have to be guaranteed. That fight would have to be guaranteed to sell like 600,000 pay-per-views at least. And then it would need like a $20 million gate for that type of money to be available. Well, I'm just telling you the truth, Damien, because I'm telling y'all, I'm just tired of this stuff, man. I'm tired of these dudes sitting up here lying and stuff. What, like I said, Damien, who gonna put up the money? $8 million, 25%. of a $32 million purse. So Devin Haney was gonna get $24 million to fight Shakur Stevenson. You talking about Tank Davis money. And where was this fight supposed to be held at? Once again, when was the fight supposed to happen? What date? Where? No fight date. No venue. Like I said, man, I'm exposing these dudes, man, because like I said, these dudes need to like stop fronting and stuff. I don't know who that was talking to Ness, but at the end of the day, man, they not keeping it real. So whoever that was talking to Ness, they wasn't keeping it real. Because Ness should have said, okay, so who was going to put up? I would have said, okay, so who was going to put up the money? We know who put up the money for Spence versus Crawford. That was Showtime. So they put up the money and they made a return on that fight. They sold anywhere from 500 and something thousand pay-per-views, anywhere between 500,000 to 700,000. Some people said it did more. Then they had a decent gate, so they made money off that fight. I'm trying to explain this to you. The demographics of how a fight of that, how a fight like that could be made, and how that type of money could be available. You just got to keep it 100. Would that be on regular TV? Absolutely not. It would have to be a pay-per-view fight. When has Shakur Stevenson been on pay-per-view? I mean, like, for real, has Shakur Stevenson ever fought on pay-per-view? No. So, like I said, I have to give you guys the charts and the graphics, schematics, whatever you want to call it, the numbers. That didn't even, and when I first heard that didn't even sound feasible. I was just shaking my head. I don't know who that was talking to Ness, but they wasn't keeping it real. And I know people was going ooh, ah, and oh, so they could sit up there and make these videos slandering Shakur Stevenson because this is the new Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence thing. Okay, slander Shakur Stevenson, make people hate Shakur Stevenson. Like I said, Shakur Stevenson, he did some stuff that I didn't like. But keep in mind, this dude is still young, man. The dude is only like 26 years old. People grow, and he grow out of it. Shakur has never did a pay-per-view where he's never did a pay-per-view. All his fights have been on regular ESPN. Bud did a couple of pay-per-views. Devin Haney did a pay-per-view with Lomachenko, which, by the way, I went in on Lomachenko, and like Lomachenko has always been a front runner. So like I said before, they sitting up saying that, okay, well, we'll make double next year. So you telling me that once again, Shakur Stevenson can make $16 million fighting Devin Haney? Okay, so fine. Once again, who's gonna pay for it? Who's gonna pay for it? Once again, if it goes to Saudi Arabia where they have unlimited money, then that sounds a little bit logical. But if that's in the States, ain't no way Shakur gonna get no $16 million. So I'm just keeping it. I'm just keeping the buck. This needed to be said, man, because I had to put that out there, man. A lot of these dudes, they need to stop doing this stuff, man, where they just be making up stuff, man, and be sitting up there saying, "Oh, man, well, see, Shakur is exposed. He ain't exposed. Whoever that was, man, that was on Ness channel. They was fronting. They was fronting, and they was fronting hard." In order for them, I mean, Devin got like I think Devin got like what 4 or 5 for fighting Lomachenko. Lomachenko got like $1 million and some change, or almost 2. So you basically telling me you finna jump from $5 million to $24 million for your next pay-per-view. The only way Devin Haney would get that type of money, 24, that fight would have had sold like 2 or 3 million pay-per-views. So I'm just explaining logic to y'all. And I know some people on here are going to get mad and think I'm trying to diss somebody. No, I'm just telling the truth. Like I said, I ain't worried about nobody being mad at me. I ain't worried about nobody think I'm sneak dissing them, but I'm just telling the truth. I'm just hitting y'all with logic. Logic. You went from 4 or 5 to 24 for Shakur Stevenson, a guy who's never been on pay-per-view. And I mean, Shakur Stevenson sells well in Newark. He does decent numbers, but could Shakur Stevenson pack a football stadium? I understand that for Canelo. I understand that for Tank, because Tank is selling out arenas. I'm gonna get to Tank. I'm gonna get to Tank eventually, because eventually, I'm gonna have to do a video about Tank fighting guys like S.R. Cruz, and eventually people gonna get tired of seeing Tank fighting these type of dudes. And I know Tank gets mad, and like they all do, when you say, why are you fighting a dude like this? And I don't mess with y'all. But at the end of the day, they're gonna have to start trying to find better opponents for Tank, and that's just factual. People gonna have to cross the street or whatever the case may be. And I know you got a lot of Al Heyman, you know what I'm saying? Fanatics that'll try to make it look like he the god of boxing, and that's just not true. At the end of the day, Tank is gonna have to start fighting more credible opponents. He gonna have to try his hand, because at the end of the day, it's gonna start to look like Tank don't believe in himself, or they don't believe in Tank. I think Tank believes he could beat those dudes, but then I think sometimes the powers that be, at the end of the day, it's a reason why they weren't giving the Danny Garcias and the Ugas and dudes like that, and Keith Thurman, the guys like that, to Terrence Crawford. I think to a certain degree, Al Heyman believed that they couldn't beat Terrence Crawford, just like Al Heyman secretly believed that and knew deep down inside that he didn't think Errol Spence could beat Terrence Crawford. When you set up a big fight, if you don't have sponsors or people that's willing to put up the money, finance outside companies, hedge funds to finance these fights, then fighters are not going to see that type of money. I haven't heard Bill say that they got some outside investor that's willing. Like I said, who's willing to put up, and I'm not knocking these dudes, but who's willing to put up $32 million? Like I said, when you invest in something, keep in mind an investment is something that you want a return on. Even though an investment technically is considered a loan towards a business. So like I said before, who is going to put up $32 million for this fight? And like I said, for them to get a return on this fight is going to have to be so. I'm just explaining numbers to you. This is something that these dummies won't explain to y'all while they sitting up making these videos accusing Shakur Stevenson of ducking. I've never made a video saying that Devin Haney, I don't know who the hell these dudes is talking about. I ain't never made no video claiming that Devin Haney was ducking Shakur Stevenson. I ain't never made no video saying that Shakur Stevenson was ducking Devin Haney, but I need to explain numbers to you guys. If that type of money is out there for a fight, once again, Saudi Arabia, they can do that kind of stuff because they have the oil money. So they have money to burn. Now, if they said that this fight was going to be in Saudi Arabia, but you ain't heard Saudi Arabia as a possible location for this fight. So I understand Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua gonna make big time money, having a fight in Saudi Arabia. Because they just want to hold events because they got billions of dollars to play with. But the States, that's a different story. So let me explain this to you. Okay, so Shakur Stevenson, if he's supposed to make his cut was 25%. Okay. So basically he turned down $8 million, which I don't believe. So you go 8, 16, you know what I'm saying? 24, 32. So that out of that $32 million, if Shakur Stevenson is getting 25%, he's getting $8 million. So Devin Haney is getting $24 million. Once again, if there's a hedge fund you can dig into, or you got an investor, the investor wants a return to say, okay, well, I'll put up the 32 million for this fight. Okay, so for an investor to make his money back, okay, this fight got to do, like I said, this fight got to be sold at around 80 bucks, and it needs to do at the minimum 600,000 pay-per-views. And once again, Shakur Stevenson isn't as popular as Ryan Garcia or Tank Davis. That would be, I hate to say this, and I'm not downing, and I'm not talking about Shakur Stevenson, but they're not going to, no investor's going to put up a hedge fund or put up that type of money for a fight like that. It's just fact, because he's going to lose money. Now, if they would have said something like maybe 10 million and all that kind of stuff, 10 million, 12 million, that would seem more feasible. But you're talking about nobody wants to lose $32 million. And then let's not forget the undercard. So once again, you're talking about Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. You're talking about, okay, so for other people to make money, you have to talk about the gate. So basically, you talking about them selling tickets for $10,000. And let's just keep it a buck. Is somebody going at this point in time? Is people gonna pay $10,000, $15,000 to sit? You know what I'm saying? Sit ringside. Is all the celebrities gonna come out for that fight? They're gonna be some. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford was different. It was for Undisputed. And they were way more popular than Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. Just got to keep it a buck. Not knocking either one of those fighters, but I'm just giving y'all logic. This was a fight that was like 5 years in the making. Errol Spence was considered possibly, at worst case scenario, the number 3 pound per pound fighter. Terrence Crawford, by many people, with the exception of Canelo, or anyway, he was considered number 1 pound per pound. So Terrence Crawford, over the years, because of a lot of these goofy YouTubers that constantly made videos, which, like I said, these dummies that constantly made these Terrence Crawford hate videos, they help get Terrence Crawford paid by making these videos talking about Terrence Crawford need to take whatever somebody gives them. So actually, you dummies help get Terrence Crawford paid. You tried to devalue him, but you actually made his value go up. So yeah, I'm just explaining logic to y'all. How are they going to get a return? Who's going to invest in this fight? Who's going to put up $32 million for this fight in hopes to get a return? You just got to tell the truth. And I know, and I'm not, no disrespect to Bill, no disrespect to Shakur Stevenson, no disrespect to none of these dudes, but I'm just telling the truth. When I just heard those numbers, I just was like, okay, like for real. I guarantee you, if somebody walks up to Bob Arum and says, Bob, were you going to put up $32 million? Were you going to put up $32 million for this fight? Eddie Hearn, was you going to put up $32 million? Did you have an outside investor? And I'm just telling you guys how numbers works. These dudes don't be knowing what they be talking about. They just be making up stuff just to get clicks. And I'm just telling the honest to God truth. Once again, no disrespect to Bill, no disrespect to Shakur Stevenson, but $8 million, that money ain't out there right now. Now for that fight. Maybe in a couple of years, depending on who they put in the ring and how put in the ring with these two guys and basically how they market themselves and build themselves up. But nah, ain't nobody putting up no $32 million for Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson. And I'm just telling the honest to God truth. And I know some niggas gonna be mad and say, "Oh, I'm dissing them," or I'm sneak dissing. Listen, take it however you want. I'm just telling the truth, man. Stop making these videos lying. And like I said, I don't know whoever that was talking to Ness. They was fronting. They was fronting hard. Y'all keep forgetting I'm out there. I guarantee you I could act Eddie Hearn. I could act Eddie Hearn right now. And he'll tell you that money wasn't available for that fight. Just keep it. I'm just keeping it a buck. Devin is finna fight Regis Prograis. Okay, I don't know how much money they gonna get for that fight. Regis Prograis couldn't even sell out his own hometown. Regis Prograis had less than 10,000 people in his own hometown. It's just fact. It's not bashing neither one of these fighters, but you just got to be truthful, man. And that's the problem with these niggas on YouTube. They not truthful. They put together these videos to get clicks and likes and get super chat. Listen, I'm not counting their cash and none of that stuff. If that's what they do, fine. But I'm not doing that stuff. I'm just giving you guys the real. Who's gonna put up the money for that fight? I can tell you right now, Eddie Hearn ain't putting up that type of bread for a fight like that unless he know he's gonna get a return. He was getting a return on Anthony Joshua because Anthony Joshua was selling very well in the UK. He was doing big numbers in the UK. So that's why Anthony Joshua was getting the type of money that he was getting. And then again, it be exaggerating sometimes too with the type of money that these fighters get paid. Yeah, they get paid well, but sometimes they be exaggerating. But like I said before, I know I'm a shake a couple of trees and rattle a couple people's cages because they think I'm counteracting, and then maybe I am counteracting the BS that they putting out. Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. $8 million. Like I said, once again, who's gonna pay for this fight? Who's gonna finance this fight? Once again, you talking about a big jump. If Devin Haney was to be guaranteed 24 million to fight Shakur Stevenson, then his pay-per-view versus Lomachenko must have sold like 2 million pay-per-views. You have to be logical. And that's what these dudes don't be doing. They're not logical. They just put together these videos so you guys can watch it, knowing that they being dishonest as hell. But me, y'all gonna get the real from me. So when you hear these people sitting up talking about somebody allegedly turned down $8 million, ask these dudes, okay, so who was gonna finance this fight? Who was gonna pay for this fight? I'm out there, y'all. I've been doing this for a minute now. I asked the questions. And there's other people that's been out there too, but I asked the questions. Once again, that's how a fight works. The money has to be there and they have to think they're going to get a return. Okay, listen, I'll make it as clear as possible. I'll be as transparent as possible. It's the same way if somebody asks me to invest in a business and say, whatever, I don't know. Somebody could say, hey, I'm trying to, open up a restaurant or something. I gotta see I need to see the charts. I need to see the presentation. I need to know. Say, hey, Town, I need like an additional 100,000 to get this going. I need to see, okay, where's my 100,000 gonna go, and how long it's gonna take me to get my money back. And I may charge you interest. And in all likelihood, I'm gonna charge you interest. So even if I loan you 100,000, I may want 150,000 back. So you have to think about that as well. I need to see the portfolio. I need to see. I need to see charts. I need to see basically. I need to see deadlines. When these deadlines gonna be made, the structure, how it's gonna be put together, how much you expect to earn on a weekly basis, how much you expect to earn possibly on a daily basis, an hourly basis, a monthly basis, and how much am I going to get back? What do you how long are you going to take to give me my money back? When should I expect my payments for investing? Because in all likelihood, most of the time the investors want their money back first before you even start seeing a profit. Or you can do or you can do you can do an extended balloon payment, a deferred payment, where you can say, okay, check this out. I'll give you 2 years to give me all my money at once, plus whatever 25% interest. If not, then I take full ownership of the business. That's how that works. I know a little bit about business and investments. That's real talk. I got my money tied up in light investments and stuff. Not saying what I'm invested in, but I'm just saying that's how it works. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to that exactly. That's what I'm trying to explain to y'all. Once again, who was supposed to pay for this fight? Who's putting up the money for this fight? Listen, I know some other stuff that's going on, but I don't want to make it look like I'm exposing people or that I'm making them look bad, because you know what I'm saying? That's not my intentions, but at the end of the day, I have to get at some of these dudes that be putting out these bullshit clickbait videos, because it get to the point where like enough is enough. You turn clickbait videos into slander videos. And that's the problem with a lot of these dudes. Yeah. That's another thing. Can you get sponsorships? You would agree this is a you okay, listen. If somebody putting up that kind of money, you would agree this would be a high caliber fight, a high profile fight, right? Okay, what about the promotion going into this fight? What, they just gonna announce the fight, and then whenever the fight happens, you talk once again, you talk about a promotional tour. So this is why I know. No, I just been working, man. I just been working. They changed my shift. So, I just decided to do this video right now before I, call it a night, because I got to get up in a few hours. But I just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention, because a lot of dudes be sitting up here lying and stuff. Listen, I don't like how Shakur Stevenson did moved. I don't like some of the stuff he did towards Devin Haney. You shouldn't be recording phone calls and stuff. That's not a good look. That's not a good look. You shouldn't be recording phone call and leaking them. So Shakur is wrong for that. But as far as this stuff where people lying and they trying to run a smear campaign against Shakur Stevenson and trying to do another character assassination, we saw, and it's always the same people too. It's always the same people, or who you think it's gonna be. It always seemed to be the same people. So I'm just saying, I already didn't been down this road before, but I decided to basically, you know, cut this off at the, cut this off right now. Well, that's what they what they do. That's what they do. And like I said, Shakur Stevenson is for the most part, Shakur Stevenson is a good kid, man. He a good young man. Like I said, I done talked to Shakur Stevenson several times. I done talked to him off camera. I done talked to him on camera. Shakur Stevenson is, like I said, everybody make mistakes. People got to understand the dude is 26. You don't mature until you get sometimes well into your 30s, sometimes even your 40s. I still make mistakes in my tender age of 48. So I'm just saying. But I needed to put that out there. Yeah, I wish Jay Prince would do a better job with Shakur and keep him out of these situations. But this is what I'm trying to explain to y'all. A fight with this type of money involved, this is a high profile fight. I'm talking about if that type of money is involved, I'm talking about you will have to see sponsorships. You'll have to see, like I said, tours. And this is what I mean. So when I heard those numbers, I was just like, here we go. Here we go again. All this is about, once again, people doing what they do best, making click videos, running a hate campaign against Shakur Stevenson. Because they may be cool with Team Haney. They may be cool with Bill and that kind of stuff. Listen, I don't roll like that. I'm cool with Bill. I'll talk to Bill earlier, and it ain't no hard feelings on Bill, and I'm not dissing Bill. I commend Bill what he done. And some people don't like Bill's antics. Some people don't like his antics. But at the end of the day, that's Devin's job to talk to his father. That's not really our job. That's between Devin and Bill. Obviously, Devin likes what Bill is doing. He wants Bill around. He wants Bill to do this. Sometimes people ain't as charismatic as their son or what you would call a quote unquote star. I mean, Devin Haney's personality is cool enough, but Bill is a little bit more energetic than Devin. And that's because Bill had that street mentality. Bill come from the streets. Bill got it from the mud. Me and Bill is from different parts of Oakland. Bill is from deep East Oakland. I'm from like East Oakland. So, and Bill got that hustler, man. Bill got that hustler blood in him. He got that hustler mentality. So he a hustler. He know how to hustle. So, he got the gift of gab. So that's where it's coming from. Listen, at the end of the day, it get to the point, Damien, you need to not even pay these dudes no more. How many times have I blew these Errol Spence fanboys out the water? I've been exposing them. I've been exposing these PBC lovers, the dudes like the least attorney and a couple of other people. And one dude, you know what I'm saying, who was sitting up here being divisive among the group. And you know what group I'm talking about now. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? He decided to go do something else. That clown, because that's what dude is. He was a clown. And I'm gonna say this again. I don't know where he got the idea that somebody was scared of his ass. So then, yeah, the least, who I'm talking about, the least attorney stay lying. I mean, that dude, whenever he do a video, they should flash in his video. Somebody should flash in his video. He's lying again. Dude, stay lying. I didn't expose dude so many times. Keep in mind, this is the same dude. Everybody he told Terrence Crawford to fight. Terrence Crawford, when he fought him and he beat him, he would push the goalpost back. At the end of the day, now their new thing is to cling on the Boots. Try to make Boots the next fall guy, or make Boots the next guy. Because they hate Terrence Crawford, but these supposed to be so-called pro-black dudes. And that's why. Yep, he do look like Black Dr. Evil. I've been seeing that. Yeah, I've been seeing that. I've been seeing that. I call him Mini Me. I mean, that dude just stay lying. Him and some other people. Like I said, a lot of these dudes on here, they can't be taken serious. Like I said before, I don't respect no dude that I don't even see how some people could listen to some of these dudes on here. How can you sit up here and listen to one dude on YouTube that referred to another black man as the N-word with the ER? And then you have people trying to justify that stuff. That showed me, hey, y'all can stay the fuck away from me. If y'all, hey, it ain't no justification for another black man to be caught on YouTube calling another black man the N-word with the ER. Because then guess what? When they see black dudes doing that, even though people don't respect black people, they love to emulate black people. Oh, well, so-and-so said it, so why can't I say it? You know that's how people, you know how the open enemy get down. How they try to have black justification. Oh, well, he said it. So what's the problem? Why can't I say it? Because you a white or you a non-black. And if you catch me on the wrong day calling me the N-word, whether it's with the A or the ER, I may beat your motherfucking ass. That's why. That's why. How's that? Oh yeah, well, you know what? I don't even, you know what? I don't even really want to talk about John Coffey, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's all I can say is good. All I can say is, yeah, you better watch your mouth. You better watch you better watch who the fuck you be threatening, cause I am from Oakland. I was born at Highland Hospital, so for real. But I ain't worried about John Coffey. You know, like I said, ain't nobody scared. Ain't nobody scared of that nigga. You know, and that's just real talk. He saw me in Las Vegas. He saw me in Las Vegas. He didn't do nothing. So I'm just keeping. I don't even want to. He saw me in Las Vegas. He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing, and he ain't gonna do nothing. I those videos you saw me boxing and stuff. I ain't even showed you the martial arts stuff. Trust me, I'm well equipped. I've been boxing since I was in my man. I've been boxing and training in boxing since I was like in my late teens. I know how to defend myself. So don't let my size fool you. And I'm actually a lot quicker. I'm a lot. I ain't even really showed you everything I could do. That was just a taste. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, if you feeling some kind of way, I mean, you more than welcome to try it, but it's not gonna end well for you. And I ain't even like that. I ain't even invite nobody. But man, since you be sitting up trying to send your little innuendos like you gonna pull up on me, and we all know when you saw me in Vegas, you didn't do a damn thing. You didn't do nothing. Just like you didn't film nothing when you got a all access pass. You didn't film that. Didn't do a damn thing. So I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Cause like I've been biting my tongue, keeping my composure for a minute, you know. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't even really want to go that route, but at the end of the day, I needed to speak on that. Kobe know how I get down, so I'm just saying. Unlike certain people, I go to fights. Like I said, I done been all over this country. I done been to everywhere. I done been to all the hoods. I done been to the toughest streets of Philly. I done been to all over. I done been everywhere, man. I done been, unlike Fred, when Fred be talking about he be in the 60s, right? Said Fred drive through the 60s. I actually didn't walk through the 60s where Cowboy be at. Y'all seen my old videos. I actually went to the Marathon store because, like I said, I'll really be in these streets. So I'll be in these streets. So that's real talk. I done been I like I said, I did an interview with Cowboy. It's on here. I was in the 60s. I don't drive through it like Right Said Fred. Like man, that dude, man, that's another one. That's another one that I'm finna go in on. Cause he another lying ass nigga. But I just needed to put that out there right quick. But yeah, I just needed to tell the truth about the whole boxing thing and how it works. For that type of money, he said that Asians are black people. There you have it. I'm you know the thing is with him, and I'm gonna just say this about Right Said Fred. I just got it. If I told y'all what I knew about Fred, y'all wouldn't even respect that dude. I mean, like I said, that man don't have no identity. That man did try to be a preacher, a basketball coach, a folk singer, a motivational speaker. I mean, he didn't have so many a politician. And by the way, Fred used to be a Republican, if I'm not mistaken. This is the same dude that said, this is the same dude that was talking about that they should go in there and implode Chicago and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. He's so black. He's so black, but he named his kid. He's so pro-black, but he named his kids, non-black names. But then he tried to say something slick about my son. My son will beat Fred's ass. And Fred wanna, and if Fred ever, and then Fred, he's such a coward. Fred was talking about he was going, when he saw me, he was going to hit me from behind and run. But I don't blame you, Fred, because if you square up against me, whoo, it's going to be bad for you. You would be smart to hit me from behind. Yeah, I told you. Yeah, Fred is a Republican. Not that Democrats are any good. I'm just saying, but Fred was a Republican. He probably still is a Republican. Man, you can't pay, man, Fred. You can't pay Fred to go to the hood, man. Fred don't have no ties to black people. Fred like being around people that don't look like him. That's his comfort zone. He tried to be a temporary, street dude. It didn't work out for him. He couldn't handle it. So he went back to his handkerchief head ways because that's who he is. You know, just saying. The man got all kind of complexes. Yeah, I don't give a damn about neither one of them. None of them had a black man's best interest. All of them didn't screw black people over one way or another. A lot of people keep forgetting that the Democratic Party was started by KKK members. A lot of people keep forgetting that the Democrats and the Republicans, Ronald Reagan and Robert, what's his name, Munford, in California, they the ones that converted California from a open carry state to a non-open carry state. So there you have it. And keep in mind, the Democrats have went out of their way to violate Second Amendment rights and to keep people from legally purchasing guns. So there you have it. But anyway, you guys, appreciate y'all. Anyway, this your boy Town. I'm out.